Good morning, Ken Sachs here. One big change I got to tell you right up front. I have switched companies. I am now with Keller Williams Realty Spokane. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, in this weekend's paper from the Spokesman Review, they even talked about 10 good reasons to buy a house. And a lot of things we've already talked about, but I just want to either remind you or tell you some other things. Again, low interest rates right now. We cannot beat the rates we have going on right now. The best thing I heard, it was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. The last time rates were this low, televisions were black and white. When's that going to happen again? Money is out there, and it is available to borrowers. You hear a lot of the negativity out there coming from sources like the media saying, well, you can't get money. You can get money. You just need a job, okay? So if we have a job and we have a paycheck, money's out there for you. Owning a home means long-term tax savings. Who doesn't want tax savings? So tax savings when you own a home, and inventory. It talks about many homes are available in all price ranges and areas. That's inventory, folks. The inventory is out there. It's a buyer's market, lots to choose from. Sellers want to sell. They're willing to give concessions. So take a look and see what's out there. Negotiating power is yours. As I just said, it's a buyer's market. Owning a home, of course, is a great financial investment. The National Association of Realtors says every 10 years, the price of your home doubles. So it's a great financial investment. Last thing I'll say from this list of 10, many homes, they're move-in ready. They're turnkey. Put your stuff in, get the key, you're done. You don't have to rebuild, repaint, fix roofs. They are ready. They are in good shape. These sellers want to sell, so they're making their homes look nice. That's that. I've got 10 tips for new buyers here. So new buyers, and I've worked with some new buyers recently, and I had to laugh when I went through some of these because they've applied to me and my folks. Number one, savings. Have a handle on and have an idea on your savings account, and just know experts are saying that no more than 1/3 of your monthly income will go towards your monthly payment. So be aware of that. Have that as kind of a key, but don't go out and spend everything and buy those cars and furniture and the trips and then say, hey, you know what? I think it'd be a great idea to buy a house now. And then guess what? How are we going to pay for it? So a little pre-planning is going to go a long ways, help you take advantage of the inventory and the interest rates. Down payment options. Tip number 2, know about the down payment options out there. If you don't know about those, talk to a real estate agent. They can explain those to you. But there's down payment options. Sellers out there are at times willing to give some seller concessions for down payments. So be aware of that. Talk to an agent. Get a grip on that. Number 3, check credit report. I talk about this all the time. If you think you're going to be buying a house anywhere between now, 12 to even a year and a half out, folks, talk to a lender. Run your credit report. See what's on there. Because a good lender will be able to coach you and tell you, okay, pay this off, don't pay this off, pay this down to that. What's that going to do? That's going to give you the best score possible. And the higher your score, the lower your interest rate. And guess what? The lower your interest rate, the lower your payment. So very important. A little bit of due diligence will go a long ways. Get pre-qualified and get pre-approved. That's 4 and 5. That's basically talk to a lender. And you don't, a lot of people say, well, my friend, my parents, somebody referred me to a lender, so that's the person that I'm using. Think of it as if you were going to put in a pool or finish your basement, would you just call one contractor or one pool company and say, hey, that sounds great, do it? No, you would talk to 2, 3, maybe even 4. Don't feel like you can only just talk to one lender. They have different programs, different investors, different pools of money. Talk to some different lenders and get some different ideas. But talk to a lender. Let's see, housing criteria. I call this the wish list. I tell folks, make a list of everything you want. You must have. I must have 3 bedrooms. I must have main floor utilities. And then put down the things you would like to have. Oh, I would like to have this, I would like to have that, whatever the case may be. But get an understanding because, folks, I talked about the inventory. And with that kind of inventory, you're going to start to get confused after about the 6th or 7th house. What was the first house we looked at? I don't remember anything anymore. So start to make that list so you start kind of cluing in and you start to get an understanding of what's important to you and what's not. Neighborhood choice, location, location, location. We hear about it all the time. Understand the neighborhood, whether it's the schools, the shopping, the bus routes, whatever is important to you, whatever you're looking for. Start to get an idea of those different neighborhoods and then start looking in there. Because in one neighborhood, let's say, you know, a 3-bedroom place in rural Kansas City, do you think that's going to be the same in Manhattan, New York City? No. So that neighborhood is going to affect the price. So get an understanding of that neighborhood, and then you'll also get an understanding of the price ranges in that neighborhood. Of course, hire an agent. Very difficult to navigate through all this and all the obstacles on your own. So my suggestion, hire an agent. And then the 10th tip, start the search. They talk about getting on the multiple listing service. Well, that's what your agent can do for you. So go ahead and talk to your agent about that. Now, 2 things I wanted to kind of give you as a side note. This happened to me the last 3 weeks with a couple I was working with, first-time home buyers. Don't let negative comments, you'll get advice, but trust the professionals. What happens is when you're out there looking, especially first-time home buyers, everybody and their brother and their cousin and their uncle will come out and give you advice. Do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. Oh my gosh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to pay asking, don't do that. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You're going to curl up in a ball and say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay where I am because I'm so scared and I don't even know what day it is. Folks, people are going to be talking to you. Understand, they mean the best. They care about you. Their intentions are good, and that's okay. But have that filter on. And like I tell my folks, write down the stuff that you don't understand they're telling you. And then when they come to me or you go to your agent, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, here's some questions I have for you. Okay? So think about that. Don't let them scare you because you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And the other thing I started to tell you about, don't let the negative comments about the housing market scare you off. If you get your information solely from the media, and worse yet, the national media that focuses on major metropolitan areas, Phoenix, Orlando, Los Angeles, but not really the city that you're in, you'll get scared off, and it could be unnecessarily. So be aware of that. 2 other things. I hear this a lot. I wanted to share it with you. Buyers are hesitant to move forward. Well, gosh, I've seen prices come down. Maybe I'll wait 2, 3, 4 months for those prices to come down even more. Well, what might happen to interest rates? I have a point here. A 1% increase in mortgage rates is 10 times more likely to happen than a 10% drop in home prices. So you're going to wait for, let's say, a 10% drop. Well, those interest rates, when they go up, and they're going to go up, folks, when they go up, think now what you've lost out in the form of purchasing power. Now you're qualified for, say, $200,000. Now maybe with that higher rate, you're only qualified for, say, $170,000. Now what's that going to do to you? So think about that. Don't be confused like I'm going to wait for the prices to come down, because you will gain the advantage by moving now, taking advantage of these rates and getting the house that you really want. Let's see, 2 quick things on foreclosures. That's been in the news a lot. Foreclosures, what's this all about? Oh my gosh, the market is falling, it's crashing. We can never buy a house. It's going to be impossible. Most of the problems nationally are related to judicial foreclosures. And in Washington, nearly all foreclosures are non-judicial. So they don't get tied up. They're fast. So it happens, they're back in the market, and they get sold. So these bottlenecks that we're hearing about that's going to supposedly create this huge crisis doesn't apply in Washington. Okay? The last thing in Spokane, last month, sales of foreclosed properties made up approximately 17% of our closed sales, while nationwide that number is 30%. Now last month, that is September 2010. I don't have October's figures. So September 2010, Spokane, 17% of the market were foreclosed properties, were nationally almost double, 30%. So, some things to know. Again, I am now with Keller Williams Realty Spokane. My new email address, ken@kensachs.net. Ken Sachs, Keller Williams Realty Spokane.